You're welcome to this very exciting episode of Finding Love. I am your host, Grace Renner. Finding Love is a relationship and marriage show that instills the right foundation for marriage with the understanding that marriage is God's idea. It is a useful guide for anyone who is ready for the journey of marriage and desires to do the way Creator has designed it. Please do subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed. This is an opportunity for you to subscribe. Click the notification, just subscribe. Whenever I upload a video, you'll be prompted to watch my video, and then please like and share if you love this video. Now, on our previous episode of Finding Love, we started a series titled Lessons from Ruth and Boaz, and we've been using Ruth and Boaz as a standard, as a character trait or character traits to look out for in a life partner. Now, so on number 3 last week, we talked about being humble and kind. Now, we talked so much about humility and we didn't have time to talk about kindness. So today we'll be talking about the kindness aspect of, as a character trait to look out for in a partner. Kindness is one of the most important character traits to look out for in a partner or in a life partner. Please do not marry someone who is not kind. Someone who is kind is someone who is able to sympathize and empathize. Now, by sympathize, I mean being able to share in people's feelings, hurts, being able to, support people, to favor people, to, being able to, just being able to share in people's pains. Then empathizing, meaning being able to put yourself in people's shoes, being able to be sensitive to their feelings, to their hurts, to their experiences without even having gone through them yourself. Okay, so it's important that you're with someone who is able to sympathize with other people and empathize with other people. A lot of marriages fail because people are not empathetic. You see a woman who is pregnant and she's doing so much work and so much work and so much work, and her husband is there just lounging, maybe, or he doesn't understand that he needs to step in at some point and help her. Or on the other hand, a man goes to work, has gone to fetch the bread, and he's working hard and working hard and working hard, and comes back home expecting to meet food, and then he comes back and his wife hasn't made anything, and then she's probably watching TV, not being able to empathize with him, to understand that this man has gone out to bear the heat, the sun, the sweat of the day. He will come back and be hungry. Let me just make provision. Or, oh, this woman, she's pregnant, let me see if I can even help her to bathe the other children or to tidy up the house from time to time. These are signs of kindness. These are being able to show sympathy and empathy. And these are the things that actually make or break a marriage. Now let's look at Ruth and Boaz. They are role models on this series. So let's look at Ruth and Boaz from the book of Ruth, chapter 2, verse 4 to 11. So it's going to be a long read, but let's go together. It says, And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem and said unto the reapers, The Lord be with you. And they answered him, The Lord bless thee. Now he greeted them. Greeting is a sign of kindness. It's a show of kindness. And the words that he used, the Lord be with you. Okay. Then 8 and 9 says, Boaz went over and talked to her. Listen, my child, he said to her, stay right here with us to glean. Don't think of going to any other fields. Stay right behind the women workers. I have warned the young men not to bother you. When you are thirsty, go and help yourself to water. Now, this was real kindness and respect for her. He saw her and he said, don't go anywhere. Stay here. I've warned this young man not to disturb. If you want water, go and take water. Kindness. And then 10 and 11 says, she thanked him warmly. How can you be so kind? She asked, you must know I'm only a foreigner. Yes, I know, Boaz replied. I also know about all the love and kindness you have shown your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, and how you left your father and mother in your own land and have come here to live among strangers. Now, clearly, Boaz was responding to the kindness he had heard about Ruth. So sometimes we get what we give. You hear some people complaining that, oh, this person's like and like that. What energy are you giving them? So imagine she was saying thank you for being kind, and it was like, oh, you're welcome. I've actually heard how kind you have been to other people. Kindness is so important in marriage, and that's why even before you get married, as we are looking to pick a life partner, look out for attributes of kindness. Now let me give you an example. Say for instance, now you're a guy and you invite a girl out, and she doesn't know your financial capability, and she just comes out, and then she's buying everything that her eyes meets and everything. And or maybe she even now invites some friends, and she just keeps buying and buying and buying, and she doesn't know your capability. Now, already in your mind, you will not be happy because she's not being kind to you. If she puts herself in your shoes, she would not do that. Maybe she might not even be able to invite any friend because of what she can afford. And on the other hand, maybe as a guy, you invite a girl. Now, she lives in Surulere, and you want her to come all the way to Maryland or to the island to come on a date with you. She might not have a job, she might not have any means of getting there. Now, the kind thing to do is ask her, so you live in Surulere, how do you intend to come to the island or to come to Maryland or to come to the mainland? Now, show that concern. That's a show of kindness. It doesn't mean that you might have the transport fare to give to her, but just showing that you are concerned. That's an attribute of kindness, asking her, so how, or offering to pay for her cab, or even, offering to pick her up, depending on, how convenient it is for you or what you can do. But that is the kind thing to do. Don't just say, oh, please, let's go out on a date, and you invite her somewhere, and then you don't really ask her or care about how she intends to get there and to leave. Now, I've shared this example before, but because of the new people, let me share it again. I I was introduced to someone who said he was interested in getting married. And now, at the time, I used to live at Surulere. So my auntie said, oh, this her friend is in need of a wife. And she has told him so much about me, and the man is interested in me for a wife. Now, so she lives in, at the time, she used to live in Ketu. So I thought, okay, the guy wanted us to meet in Ketu, not knowing that he wanted us to meet at ShopRite Ikeja. Now, I went all the way from Surulere. I drove all the way from Surulere to Ikeja, and to Mount, to, is it Mount, what did I just, Ketu, sorry, to Ketu. And I got there and she was like, oh no, that I wasn't supposed to meet him here. That she actually asked me to come because she wanted to see me. That's been long she had seen her niece and things like that. That he's actually supposed to meet me in Ikeja. I was so upset. I was like, oh my god. So I've just wasted my time and everything. So I drove all the way to Ikeja from Ketu. And when I got there, now this guy did not even ask me, oh, how did you get here? Nothing. Just started talking about, oh, your auntie has told me so much about you. Oh, this one. Oh, that one. When I was about to leave, he didn't even as much as ask me, so how are you going? Even during the conversation, I chipped it in that, oh, I thought we were supposed to meet at K2. I went all the way to K2. He didn't even say, oh, really? Oh, sorry, or, something like that. He just shoved that discussion aside like it wasn't anything. And then he continued talking about, oh, I would like to marry you. Things like that. And I was like, this guy is not kind. That was what came to my mind immediately. And then when he was leaving, I mean, he didn't even say, oh, let me see you off to your car, or how are you going to go back? He just said, okay, so I'll still be here. I have some other people to meet here. Not even, let me see you, let me walk you to your car, or how did you come? I mean, I wasn't even expecting anything from him. If at all I wanted to say, okay, let me pay for your car, I would have said, oh, I brought a car, but does that concern? Sometimes it's the thought that matters, so it's important that you know, look out for someone who is kind to spend the rest of your life with. Kindness is not only displayed in material things. Kindness is also displayed in our character and the way we talk and the words we use on people. Being kind involves how you talk. I talked about the 5 magic words. Please, sorry, thank you, excuse me, pardon me. These are magic words. These are words that show that you're kind. Well done. Even greeting can be a sign of kindness. Good morning, sir. Good morning, madam. It's a sign of kindness. Or, oh, how are you doing? I'm just going to check up on you. How are you? And when you ask someone, how are you? Be genuine enough to know how they're doing. Not some people, you just greet them and good morning, say, how are you? and they have turned away. They're just answering how are you as a response to good morning. No. When someone says good morning, how are you? Be curious enough to know how they're doing. Be kind. Good morning. How are you? Have you eaten? Can I help you with that load? Please join me when you want to eat. Please join me. Sharing is part of kindness. Or things like, I'm just calling to check up on you. How are you faring? Please take a break. Oh, please watch your steps. Oh, how can I be of help? Or, oh, please send me your account number. Just kidding. Some ladies will like this one. I'm just joking. Like I said, kindness is not only displayed in material things, but I mean, sometimes you gotta take care of the ladies. So being kind is very, very important in it's an important trait to look out for in a life partner. Okay, so let's talk about how you can know someone who is kind. Now, number one, how they treat other people. I always say to people, the fact that someone treats you kind is not enough to judge if the person is actually kind, because they can be kind to you because they are dating you. But how do they treat other people, their families, their friends, their loved ones, or even take it a bit lower, their colleagues, their cleaners, people who they are, somewhat above, or how do they treat people, who they consider less than them? That's one of the ways to know if this person is kind. The kind of words that they use. I mean, look at Boaz, for example. He greeted his workers. He could have as well just passed them, but he greeted, "Oh, the Lord be with you," "Oh, well done," "Oh, please," things. And his workers responded, you know, because he's a kind man. Now, number two way to know a person who is kind is how they treat you. Are they respectful towards you? Do they use kind words towards you? Watch how they treat you, how they, the kind of words that they use on you. It's very, very important. Number three way to know a person who is kind is how they listen to you. Do they listen with understanding? Are they understanding? Are they sympathetic? Are they empathetic? Do they tend to put themselves in other people's shoes when situations arise, when they talk about situations? Do they, listen to you? Do they come from a place of understanding? There's some people who that no matter what you say or what you go through, they don't care. It's what they want to achieve or how they see that they see it. It's important that you look out for someone who is kind, who is able to empathize with you, who is able to, haven't even been through your experience, just share in your pain, share in your feelings, share in your thoughts, share in, whatever it is that you're going through. That is a kind person. Number four, do they offer to make your life easier at every given situation? I mean, possible. Let's look at Ruth and Boaz again. Now, after he has said, "Oh, who is this woman?" They told him who she was, and he went to her and said, "Oh, well done, pick, even drink water." He even called her to come and eat with them and was dishing her food from, his own. And then when they were done eating and she wanted to go back to work, he whispered to his staff and said, "Deliberately throw down some barley, let her just pick." The guy is so kind. Like, he made her life so easy. At the time she took what she had picked home, Naomi was so surprised. He tried to make her life easier. So someone who is kind will consciously try to make your life easier at every given time. Now, let me use my husband as an example. I am shooting. I have two children, and he's been with the children all morning. He has had to take care of them, feed the older one, kept the other baby one. He's 9 months old. I had to keep him from crying. The scripts that I used to shoot this, he printed it out for me. He made this. As I came out, I took a break a little to attend to the 9 months old, and I came out and saw him frying plantain for himself to eat. Now he's trying to make my life easy, trying to make it possible for me to achieve all that I have set out to achieve. Now, not everybody is like that, and that is why you should look out for people that consciously make effort to make your life easier. He could have as well said, "Well, come and look after the children. Oh, I want to do this, I want to do that." But as soon as he knew what I wanted to do, he sacrificed every other thing and decided that, okay, this was what he was going to do to support me in his own way to make my life easier. So it's important that you know, settle for someone who consciously makes effort to make your life easier, to support you. That is kindness. Number five, someone who makes effort to see the relationship work. Now let's go back to Ruth. Ruth could have as well just stayed back where she was comfortable and not followed her mother-in-law back, but because she is a kind person, she decided to follow her, and then at some point decided to go outside and work so that she could provide for her mother-in-law. That is kindness. Making conscious effort to see that the relationship works. I mean, I just talked earlier about my husband making effort, conscious effort to see that the relationship work. I shared one example before about someone who would just turn off his phone. Whether I try to reach him or not, that's not his business. Whether his friends are trying to reach him, he really didn't care about the relationship. He would just switch off his phone and leave his house without telling anybody where he was going. He didn't really care. So it's important that you look out for these traits in somebody. Now, number 6, one attribute of kindness is that someone is loved and people have a favorable disposition towards them. So if you ask me, how can you tell that someone is a kind person? They're just naturally loved by people, and people tend to have a favorable disposition towards them because they are kind. Energy attracts, like attracts. When you're somebody that is kind already, it just attracts the right people. It makes people to love you. People just tend to have, I mean, when you walk into an environment and you greet, oh, good morning, ma. You sit down. Oh, how are you doing? How are you faring? Oh, you see an old woman. Ah, man, come and sit down. Oh, things like that. Already, the energy coming from you is positive. So guess what? People will return that positive energy with kindness, with love, with being favorably disposed towards you. Look at Ruth and Boaz, for example. When she thanked him for being kind to her, he said, "I have heard about your kindness to your mother-in-law, Naomi." So people just naturally tend to love people who are kind and have a favorable disposition towards them. So that's how to know a person who is kind, what they get in return from other people. Number 7, are they willing to go the extra mile for people they love? Now, some people who are kind, they are willing to go the extra mile for people. I have an auntie who, if I call her now, oh, auntie, please, oh, I want to do this or do that, she will leave everything that she's doing and start pursuing my own. Okay, let me give a personal example and give her credits, Auntie Binta. Now, anytime I call her and say, oh, auntie, please, oh, I want to do, okay, I was doing a modeling competition and she works in an oil company. And then, I told her, oh, auntie, please, I'll need you to chaperone these girls. She didn't even say, oh, it's not be convenient. She just said, when is it? I said, it's so, so, and so. I said, okay, I'll put my leave around that time. Do you know that she took her leave because of me, stayed with us for about 2 weeks, took care of the girls, took her time. She didn't even send her, oh, okay, well, she could have used her leave for something else. She left everything, and that's how she is. Recently, I was going to celebrate my birthday. I said, oh, auntie, this is impromptu. I'm going to be 30. I want to do my birthday. I'm thinking, she was like, you know what, Grace? Let me handle it. Just, how much do you have? Bring it. Let me handle it. She did all the running around. Oh, got me DJ, did this one, did that one. Without any dime for me. The money I had, I used it to do my own thing. She brought her own money. They're just people that just go all the way. When they tell you I love you, or when they love you, they go all the way. My sister lives in Surulere. When I call her to come and shoot for me, this video I'm shooting, she comes all the way from Surulere to Lekki, leaves as early as 5 a.m. to come and shoot. She doesn't care about security. Oh, what will happen? What if, there are robbers on the road at 5 a.m.? The road is there. Everywhere is still dark. She doesn't care. Okay, oh, workers' traffic. She even leaves early enough to beat workers' traffic just so that she would ensure the shoot. Then, oh, my baby is crying, she will back the baby. Just to make sure that, oh, this thing that you want to do, I'm involved and it must be a success. That is how people who love you, people who are kind, they will go all the way, they'll go the extra mile. So these are things to look out for. Someone who is kind should not find it reluctant to do favors for you, because kindness is one of the things, the ingredients that sustains a marriage. Very, very important. At this time, at this point, I think I have said enough. I have said enough. But before I leave you, just one announcement. I have a prayer group for anyone who is desirous of marriage, who wants to, corporately pray, for their life partner, or you are married and want to pray for the health of your marriage, or you are a parent and you want to pray for your children currently and future, please send a WhatsApp message to this number on your screen. I will respond. Just say hi. Um, I want to join the prayer group. I'm so and so person. I want to join the prayer group. Just let me know exactly why you are messaging me, and I will definitely add you to the prayer group. All right. So on our next episode of Finding Them, we'll be concluding the part one of character traits to look out for in a partner. So our story of Ruth and Boaz will be coming to an end. Just part one. Then we'll continue part two. Okay, so I remain Grace Rena. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not, and I'll see you next time.